The Aurora Police Department has had a proud history of service in Aurora, Illinois. For more than 170 years, Aurora's sworn police officers and non-sworn personnel have provided distinguished service for the safety of our community. We are grateful for the opportunity to honor their heroism and personal sacrifice through this historical remembrance produced by the Community Foundation of the Fox River Valley in January 2013. We pause for a moment of silence to remember those brave men and women who gave their lives to protect the citizens of our community. The history of Aurora began when New Yorkers Joseph and Samuel McCarty settled on the eastern edge of what is now downtown Aurora. They called the area McCarty Mills. The year was 1834. This photo features the actual mills constructed by the McCarty brothers at the foot of Main Street, now called Galena Boulevard, on the north side of the street at the Fox River. In 1835, law enforcement arrived in McCarty Mills when Ralph C. Hoare was elected Justice of the Peace and B.F. Fridley was appointed constable. 1 year later, former New York resident Elias Terry suggested the area be named after his hometown of Aurora, New York. McCarty's Mill now became Aurora, Illinois. The east and west sides of the river maintained separate identities until 1857, when they joined into one community, the city of Aurora. Then, in the late 1850s, the town's first law enforcement officer, Dennis Baker, was elected by the city council to the office of marshal. The laws reflected a more innocent time. Residents were forbidden to play the piano before 6 a.m. and could not bathe in the Fox River without bathing suits from sunrise to 8 p.m. The Aurora Police Department was housed in a frame building on the northeast corner of Broadway and New York Street. The police and fire departments shared the same structure. In 1866, a newly constructed City Hall was dedicated. It was located on Fox Street, now called Downer Place, near Stolp Avenue in downtown Aurora. The facility included offices for city officials and the city marshal. The building to the west of City Hall, on the corner of Fox Street and Stolp Avenue, was constructed in 1895 and served as the post office. In 1885, 4 Aurora policemen posed with City Marshal Chris Zimmer, who is standing in the center of the photo. In 1893, the title of City Marshal was changed to Chief of Police, a title which remains to this day. Police officers were captured on camera throughout the years, reflecting the steady increase in the number of personnel. This photo, from 1895, was taken in front of the Grand Army of the Republic building on Fox Street. The police department had increased its ranks considerably, as evidenced by this 1903 photo of officers posing on the steps of City Hall. In addition to protecting the public, the police have been proud to march in the city of Aurora's many patriotic parades throughout the years. In 1911, the police department's horse-drawn patrol wagon and ambulance were still in service. Also that year, the department's first motorized vehicle, called the Brush Runabout, was purchased. This photo of the 1911 Brush Runabout is similar to the one owned by the Aurora Police. In 1912, the city purchased its first paddy wagon, a Kissel car. Officer Matthew Weiss, who is standing at the front of the vehicle, called it the Mighty Monster. By 1914, the Kissel car had replaced the old horse-drawn patrol wagon. Aurora was patrolled by officers on horseback and on foot. Horses were a part of the police department until the 1920s. Although walking patrols continue in downtown Aurora, patrolling neighborhoods by foot has been discontinued. Motorcycles were an efficient mode of transportation. In 1929, jailer Peter Fountain and Officer Bernard Compton posed on the department's motorcycle in front of City Hall with other officers and Aurora dignitaries. The motorcycle allowed officers to maneuver quickly into places that larger vehicles could not manage. By the late 1940s, the department had a fleet of motorcycles at its disposal. However, after the 1970s, motorcycles were no longer used. In 1937, squad cars, which were equipped with two-way radios, allowed officers to keep in constant contact with the central station. In addition, emergency call boxes were placed throughout the city, enabling citizens and officers on patrol to contact the police department directly. In the 1950s and 1960s, officers processed evidence and typed up arrest reports in close quarters at the station. Also during these years, the front desk officer was responsible for driving the ambulance to the hospital. A second officer in a squad car would meet the desk officer at the hospital to remove the injured from the ambulance. After 100 years, the downtown police location no longer proved effective in serving the needs of the growing community. The 1866 building was demolished in 1966 and replaced by a new facility on River Street, near the downtown. When the River Street headquarters opened on June 30, 1966, 83 police officers and 32 civilian personnel were employed by the department. In 1969, officers wore the Eisenhower jacket, which was tailored to fit just above the duty belt. Also, by 1969, the number of officers in the police department totaled more than 100 for the first time in its history. The River Street location had a radio room behind the front desk on the first floor. After the facility was expanded, it moved to the basement. As the years passed, the facility could no longer house the needed technology, equipment, and personnel. Due to space limitations, communication among investigators was hampered as the officers were placed in different areas within the facility and at an outside location. Evidence also was stored in these various locations. Desk space was at a premium. For example, there were 26 sergeants assigned to patrol and only 4 desks with phones and computers to support them. The outdated 911 call center, deteriorating detention area, and administrative offices were beyond renovation. After 40 years of service, the doors of the River Street facility were closed. When the station was demolished, only 90 of the 500 truckloads of materials were placed in a landfill. Ever conscious of the environment, the police department insisted on the recycling of these materials where possible. In early 2010, the Aurora Police Department moved into its new state-of-the-art facility at 1200 East Indian Trail. The building houses both the headquarters of the Aurora Police Department and the branch court facility. Upon its completion, the 154,000 square foot structure became the largest full-service municipal police department in the nation and the largest civic building constructed in the state of Illinois. The police facility includes a detention area, emergency 911 call center, records division with high-density storage units that can accommodate the more than 30,000 police reports each year, and a briefing room where officers report at the beginning of their shifts. The briefing room also serves as a training center with state-of-the-art audio and visual equipment. In addition, the building houses a community center, administrative offices, and conference rooms. A separate entrance is provided for those attending court hearings to ease congestion and increase efficiency. The marvelous structure was designed to provide a safe, technologically advanced environment for the City of Aurora's police officers, support personnel, and members of the court staff. In 2011, the building received the prestigious LEED Gold certification for its green features. LEED, which is an acronym for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, is a rating system developed by the U.S. Green Building Council to recognize buildings that are designed, constructed, and operated as environmentally responsible and resource efficient. No detail was overlooked in the building's construction. Landscape elements were designed to incorporate native plantings. The native grasses are control burned once every 2 years as part of a planned maintenance program, which strengthens the long-term health of the plantings. The landscape design also allows for the removal of silt and pollution from runoff water. The water is naturally cleansed and deposited into a retention pond on the east side of the site. In addition, having the stormwater run into the retention pond reduces the impact on Aurora's municipal sewer system. Permeable pavers, which never have to be replaced, allow precipitation to percolate through to the soil below, which leads to a bioswale which runs around the campus. The gravel beneath the pavers helps to filter out pollutants before reaching the bioswale. In consideration of the building's cooling costs, the pavers are light in color and reduce the amount of heat reflected back into the building. Energy usage, such as gas, electricity, and water, are controlled by advanced and programmed systems. The building uses 30% less water and 27% less energy because of these systems. Energy collected by photovoltaic panels on the training and support building roof returns solar energy back into the energy grid for citywide use. LED lighting, which offers long life, limited maintenance, and high efficiency, was installed throughout the campus, inside and out. A sophisticated control lighting system throughout the building automatically turns off lights in unoccupied spaces and reduces the level of artificial lighting in a room as the natural light increases. Exterior light shelves reflect light away from the building, which results in reduced need for air conditioning. Interior solar shades deflect the sun's rays in the summertime to reduce heat within the building. These light harvesting techniques include sloped ceilings, which allow natural light to bounce further into the rooms. The detention facility is the only one of its kind in the nation. Liquid crystal glass is used for visual separation of female, male, and youth detainees. The glass reduces the number of cells needed and allows for better security. By the touch of a computer screen, the glass becomes opaque and does not allow prisoners to see others in the hallways. Highly efficient, gearless traction elevators were installed that use less energy than typical hydraulic elevators and do not require the use of toxic hydraulic fluid. Finally, recycled and regional materials were used consistently in the construction of the building. Concern for the environment was a priority throughout the entire construction process. The Aurora Police Department is proud of the extraordinary service it has provided to the Aurora community throughout the years. it is fitting that the new facility includes a memorial dedicated to Aurora police officers who have lost their lives in the line of duty. There also is a service wall that lists the names of all employees who served the city for 20, 25, and 30 years, as well as all personnel who passed away while employed with the department. The current Chief of Police, Gregory S. Thomas, assumed his position in 2008, nearly 2 years before the police department moved to its new location. He and Aurora Mayor Thomas J. Weisner were instrumental in ensuring the successful construction of one of the most advanced police facilities in the nation. As an environmentalist, Mayor Weisner was the inspiration for the project that has put Aurora's police department in the forefront of green technology. He also took the steps needed to ensure the construction of a technologically advanced facility that provides police with the tools they need to keep our community safe in the 21st century. Others who worked to ensure the success of the project include former Chiefs of Police William Lawler and William Powell, Commander Joseph Groom, and Lieutenant William Hull. Project manager was Barbara Catterman. The Aurora Police Department continues to earn the respect of the Aurora community and the country. Within the past 4 years, 3 officers of the department received national recognition for their heroism and unparalleled service. With over 400,000 police officers in the country, it was a stunning accomplishment for Detective Michael Nilles to be awarded National Police Officer of the Year in 2008, and Detectives Darrell Moore and John Munn to receive honorable mention for National Police Officer of the Year in 2012. The citizens of Aurora have been blessed with one of the finest police departments in the country. Its history of progressive ideas, dedication to advanced law enforcement techniques, and concern for the public welfare have characterized the Aurora Police Department for over 170 years. This tradition of excellence will continue to define our brave and committed police officers throughout the 21st century and beyond.